All right, everyone, welcome to the Select All podcast. We're going to change up the format today a bit. We're going to change it up and make it a bit different. We're going to go through multiple topics every few minutes just to keep everything kind of off the cuff, so to speak, and being able to see multiple different topics as we go through. So we have a bunch of different ideas for you guys today. We're going to go through some bright ideas, and then we're going to go through some of the apps and things that are on the horizon that we see today.
Bright ideas that people have already made.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to try tearing it down.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we got the what's hot at the end, which I'm very excited about. So stick around for that. Mo, do you want to take it away for the first idea?
Sure. Easiest way to explain this, SquareSpace for jewelry design. As in, you know how Squarespace makes it easy and simple to create your own website? Well, why don't we also, take that principle to jewelry design? Because we can see what kind of amazing things happen when you give people easy to use tools to create, essentially create. So let's take this to the next level and create a design tool specifically built for building jewelry, right? Some interesting things I think you can play around with are creating a piece and seeing how it fits on a different variety of people, right? Like having a set frame to position your jewelry against, making it easy to 3D print any designs that come up. I don't know. That was essentially the gist of it. Because I know you could use CAD tools, but do the people? I guess this is me generalizing, but the people that are into jewelry design, are they also the same kind of people that are into AutoCAD? You know?
That's true. That's a good point. So with your idea, Mo, when you say design tools, so you're talking about the actual tools to create the different designs, right?
Designing
for the 3D printer.
Essentially, exactly, like a piece of software or application that is very easy to use and allows people to just quickly iterate on jewelry designs, right, without knowing the complexities of AutoCAD and having other utility functions to compile the design into something that can be 3D printed.
Yeah, I like it. So it's something like a UI essentially, just to finish off.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
For those who live under a rock, what's SquareSpace?
Oh yeah, that was supposed to be me.
Ali, do you wanna?
It's essentially just a tool that helps you build websites extremely easily. It does have its limitations, but it's like a drag and drop website builder.
Interesting.
So it's similar to WordPress, right? WordPress is a competitor.
WordPress is more open. You can you still have access to everything. Squarespace is limited to and WordPress is more drag and drop just because of the themes it has, or the page builders, compared to now WordPress embedded has a page builder, but that's because of the page builders before that used to make it drag and drop.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, similar concept. Yeah, just an easy way to make websites.
I think the idea is really cool. I just wonder what the market looks like and how many aspiring jewelry creators there actually are.
You'd be surprised.
But are they not usually paying for really the brand and the stuff that's not really about the design? It's more about the carrots or the brand itself. It's not really about the look.
Sometimes, but there are just going through my wife's For You page on
collection.
Instagram, TikTok, whatever. There are a lot of indie jewelry makers, right? My cousin is actually one. She actually designed pieces and then sends them back to Pakistan for them to build, and then she gets the pieces and then sells them out here. But I guess in a broader sense, or where the genesis of the idea comes from, and we're actually running out of time, so I'll just leave it off with this, is that there's a huge huge space of indie creatives, right? Like cry cut machines, what are the like handmade tailor stuff, like
Yes.
making tools to like personalize your own like attire is maybe a very interesting space to go towards, like making that making your exactly, like giving some personality and having it easily built is something that can be an interesting space.
Yeah, they say the riches are in the niches, right? So
Yeah.
I think the idea is pretty interesting.
Just to finish off this, if I may, I think you're onto something, Mo, because I feel like we're in an age right now where people want personalized items and they want unique things. And so, and I just heard about Cricut or Cricut, whatever, however you pronounce that tool.
Oh yeah, it's Cricut.
Is it Cricut? Yeah, it is Cricut. So, and it's really popular. Like people are buying it and they're creating and they're having like side hustles and stuff from it. So I totally see this being a feasible idea where it could be layered on and make it easier for people to, access 3D printing, 3D printing things or jewelry in this case.
All right, next idea. So Mo, take it away again.
So recently I just got an Ecobee and it's great. Like I haven't installed it, but I assume it's great. Being able to like control heating in your house from an app, etc. But like I think it's kind of half the problem, because to make it very efficient, you want to direct heat and I guess the AC into areas that are most effective, i.e. the places people are sitting, like inhabiting. So right now in my house, I have to go around over all the vents if I want to be super efficient with my energy, and shut off the vents, and then like only shut all the heat to like my bedroom or my living room, right? Because we're only
manually, like you have to go shut them manually.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I have to close the vent, right? And
Yeah.
I think if there isn't, I think I did see something where like it's a whole smart vent and it's like $100, but I'm like, all I really need is something to push the vent close and push it open, right?
Yeah.
Open,
and
right?
I feel like
Interesting.
and as a business thing, it's like, do I really want to go up to someone and be like, hey, spend $5,000 to upgrade your vents in your house, or not even the vent like hole, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Or the vent grill, grill. And it's like, why would they do that when a vent grill is like $10, right?
Right.
So
And
Right.
design, like sometimes they pick stuff that relates to them. I think like you're saying, something that pushes and opens, or more versatile in various
exactly. So I'm thinking
designs.
like, instead of creating a whole smart vent and like having it being super expensive, why not just make it smart, like a smart switch that will just do the physical action based on where you are in the house, right? Like like an adapter.
I think
that's where the adapter part comes
the
in.
adapter would need to basically hook up to various different like vent styles. So I think the hard part would be you're tailoring towards like 100 different vents now and trying to create that adapter. But I really do like that idea. I think you can also still be very smart about it and add the smartness to the app, meaning it automatically knows, okay, which part of the house has gotten heat and maybe has a thermal sensor as a part of the adapter. And now you can be smart on the the back end, and try to figure out which vent you should turn on and off based on the heat in that room, etc.
They already do that. Like,
okay.
There are already sensors for your room, right? And like, I guess it takes into consideration on the Ecobee, like, oh, like this person prefers this temperature in this room, etc. But like, I guess this is just adding on top of that to like fine tune that and I guess make it more efficient.
Yeah.
Like honestly, it shouldn't be $100 to create a smart or to sell a smart vent. Like, come on, a vent looks like $10. A motor with an RC remote is like 10. Like at best, it should be $30 to be honest.
Yeah, but I feel like they want the margins, right? Like if they're spending so much into the technology and things like that, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, because the $10 vent to make probably costs like, I don't know, $1 to make, right? Or that. So it's like, yeah. So it's like they want the margins, and so the $100. It's a good point. They probably should have had these conversations before they went into it, right? I don't think
Yeah,
I'd
because
pay $100 for an event. Go ahead, Trent.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think I would either. And I was thinking of a scenario where you could add on something on top of it, but you can't really do it to an existing event, right? Because what you're trying to do is turn off, like a button to turn off, turn on, right, Mo?
Yeah,
Like close the event.
or not
Yeah.
even like basically on the app says like everyone in the house is in the living room. Shut off all the vents everywhere else because that is just
Mm-hmm.
wasted, right?
Right.
And when it says
Another
that,
thing to
like
keep in mind,
close every other.
if the doors
Hmm?
are open, then you're not saving anymore.
Yeah, but I think you're gonna notice if your doors are open. But I'm not gonna
Yeah.
go downstairs to. Oh, we're out of town, but I'm not gonna go downstairs just to close one vent in my office to like
Yeah.
maximize my
Yeah.
heating efficiency.
Yeah.
Those jokes.
Okay.
All right, I really like the idea. But we do have to move on to the next idea.
This one's
Let's
a new section, so you
yeah.
want to give a bit of an overview?
Yeah, so essentially what we're trying to do is change up the format. And one of the things that we love doing is just talking about ideas and learning about new things that are being created, right? So inventions and things along those lines. And we're always looking for new inventions at what's out in the world. And one of the things that we thought we would do is actually review, quote unquote, some of these products. So we're not going to go into details of actually using the product, but just what it does and seeing what we think about it. And we're going to get Mo to share his screen, and we're going to go through some of the products on Product Hunt, which would be cool.
Yes.
So we've picked out a few. Let's check them out.
I'm so
All
excited
right.
for this section.
Yeah.
Segment.
Same.
First product that I found very interesting was CryptoMarry, because we were huge crypto fans here. CryptoMarry is a family-focused platform, essentially to manage your cryptocurrency as a family, which sounds silly now, but if it becomes mainstream, it really wouldn't. You know what I mean? And cryptocurrency, or digital assets in general, can make this kind of joint sharing of finances of a lot more simpler. You know what I mean? So let's take a look at what their proposal and what they're trying to do.
Yeah. So
So what is
make a
the problem they're
proposal.
trying to solve?
mhm.
Well, one of the first thing I see is like I'll give you a good example. I think is a good example, right? For example, when we have NFTs to open doors, right? I remember that's being touted as a thing, just access control, right? And the one
Mm-hmm.
thing that I always thought about was, well, only one account is going to have it, and even if there's a multi-sig account, now you have to like get kind of you could have one single signer and that be okay. That might work, but this makes it a lot easier, right? If you have that access NFT access key as a part of the family, now everybody can use that to kind of get in, right? Now it's like a shared
Mm-hmm.
key to be able to get into anything. It's not even just your house, but think about if NFTs get to the cars and things like that. Now you're able to get into a car. It's family owned, so any family owned asset is now easily accessible, right? Another cool thing that I would see built on top of this, if they haven't already thought of that, is, for instance, when you have kids, you want to limit certain things, right? Now you can have access control on that way as well, right? Like, are they able to access their PlayStation or not, right? It's in the cabinet, they want to turn it on, and now they can't access it because it's behind a NFT kind of access mechanism.
Yeah, and I think they could kind of touch on all that, of making joint decisions and stuff using using their DAO system, where family members can make proposals and vote on different and initiatives. It's weird to talk about family stuff like that, but
That's so cool,
um
though.
yeah. And I think if you're a small family of four, I don't think this is really necessary, but I guess this is an interesting product if you're like a dynasty kind of, where your family has an entire empire, right? And you have in my head I'm thinking the crown, right? Where
Right.
the royal
The
family has so many
Rockefellers.
assets, huh?
The Rockefellers.
Oh yeah, exactly. Where your family has so much assets and so much like stuff, and like there's gonna be arguments over everything, and like your exact. I don't know. It is interesting, but to
I
me,
believe at that. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
sorry, I was gonna say that essentially this is just a multi-sig wallet as is right now. From
Mhm.
what it, yeah, it's a multi-sig wallet with like additional like kind of features, but that's what the crux of this is.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it has the potential for it because if it's only for wealthy clients, the problem is they probably already have solutions that are much better, or not much better, but more high touch, and they can
Mm-hmm.
have people to do that. But yeah, what do you think, Ali? What do you think about this?
I still don't fully like follow what it does. Um, if it's just contracts like you're saying, like oh they can like play this game or do that, or I know that's like a very basic example, but just in the real world, I don't know. I'd have to see like is it
I
Yeah,
think
useful?
no. So one argument I would have is not the access control, but think of it like, for example, because you yourself, you probably meet with your wife, you have kind of discussions about your finances, etc. It's not as hard. It's not a day-to-day thing, right? And that makes
Yeah,
sense. But at the same time, she might create a proposal for like a vacation, and now you can
Yeah.
entertain it, see how much assets there are, everybody agrees on it, etc. And you might have a family count not just for your immediate family, but for your cousins and everybody else. If there's like
yeah,
a
yeah.
joint group and you guys want to kind of fund that, right? Things along those lines, that could be very interesting as well.
I mean, like we're running out of time, so I'm gonna go. Well, I'm gonna split some examples, like joint investment or not investment, but like joint funding of like a
Real
mosque or a
estate.
gurdwara. That
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Real estate, exactly. That was a
Yeah.
huge point where like real estate can be shared between like very disparate family groups. That kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Like it is definitely niche, but there can be use cases for it.
Yeah.
And it seems like if it's tokenized, then it'll be easier to buy out or buy into different ventures, for example, like real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Could you
Yeah.
do like wills on here?
Not yet,
Pro-
but maybe.
But
Probably.
like
You should tweet us
is
though.
that where this is going? That kind of thing. Is that the
I think,
aim?
It would make it easier.
yeah.
Because I know that's a big issue that causes a lot of. Because I'm seeing like make love not war. It makes a lot of wars in some families, right? When it comes down to like the wills and stuff
Yeah, for
at the
sure.
end.
Hmm.
It's interesting that they chose that as a banner, you know?
I know, right?
Yo, the name threw me off. CryptoMarry. As soon as I heard it, I thought it was something wedding related, or something along
Yeah.
those lines. Like I didn't even think it was what we described. But yeah, that was interesting.
That would actually be cool as well, as like having a platform with vendors, and then now you have your full budget and you can kind of dictate where everything goes, etc. That'd be interesting. People
Yeah.
would do bids on your vendor. They'll be like, "Oh, our budget is 3,000 for a videographer," and I know that's a crazy low number for videographers nowadays, but they can be like, "Yeah, I can do that for 3 grand, etc." And that'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right. Next product hunt.
Yes, sir.
All right. This
So the
is
next one is called MetaDapp, I believe. So let's take a look.
sorry. These are very crypto for. Oh my god, all of them are crypto for focus. Spoiler alert. This one's a bit more, I guess, to me, a bit more boring and more like I can see anyone kind of making this, but it's just another like collection of I guess another dashboard to collect all your activity in the crypto space, right? Something to
Okay.
like a coin tracker, or let's see yes, let's take a look. Um, MetaDapp is a connected ecosystem of advanced analytics and automation tools integrated into one intuitive dashboard and dashboard interface.
Huh.
Check out some of our outstanding features. Trade Viewer with built-in decks. Perform real-time technical chart analysis of any token pair. Okay, that seems kind of la di da.
So I feel like are they just combining like different tools into one. Like it's like
Exactly.
an OpenSea plus analytics platform, etc. But
like
focused on you.
NFT tool, I feel like we've seen. I think we had a similar project going on, and we've seen many implementations of this.
Yeah.
Um,
That's literally what we did in a way.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
literally, actually, but we a much simpler version of anything that happens with your account or any account that you are trying to kind of see. But I guess this is a bit different. It's a bit more scoped just for your account.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's smart alerts. I guess something else we were thinking of. So, I mean, an automation bot. So I guess it does provide like a tool set. I guess to me, it really depends on how well each tool is built, right? Like if one tool is good, then why? But like all the others are kind of bland. Like why would I use this, right?
Yeah.
Like I guess my issues or my potential issue could be like, are you touting it based on quality or quantity?
Yeah.
It seems like it's a platform where you can. So essentially, what it is. It seems like you can bring in all your various. What's the word I'm looking for? Marketplaces or wallets where you hold different assets and you bring it all to one dashboard.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Basically, instead of you jumping to, let's say, OpenSea and then jumping to another like platform to be able to see a different type of asset or check how much crypto you have, you would go to this one place just to see everything.
Okay. There are definitely similar sites out there that do this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Looks like
they compare it with
you
the.
track. Sorry, go ahead.
They compare it with the other platforms as well.
Yeah.
If you scroll up right there, yeah.
And I think out of all these, Nansen is like pretty well known, or like the biggest one in this space. And Nansen, I think, like for them not to have a trade viewer is kind of a positive because they're really focused on tracking, right? So they don't, I guess, like whereas this one, it's trying to spend all of its energy across so many different focuses.
Yeah. Ellie, what do you think? What are your thoughts on this? Ellie's like, no thoughts. He's like, this is shit.
They have 1,000 followers on Twitter, but I mean, the Twitter activity.
I'm surprised they're not comparing it to DApp Radar on this, because DApp Radar is another popular one. That's the one I use.
DApp Radar is a bit different. Like news, yeah.
It's more of like this would be on DApp Radar because it probably has a DApp component to it, but DApp Radar is more for products that are new. It's like DApp Radar is more of like a product hunt for Web3 technologies.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if we're talking about the same thing. DApp Radar, DAPP Radar. Because you can track your portfolios and stuff on it too.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Like
I thought it was mainly for. Yeah, because when you Google it, it just says DApp Radar, the world's DApp store.
So go to dappradar.com.
DAPP. Oh yeah, it says you can track, discover.
Yeah, exactly.
This is interesting though. Custom DeFi bots. Like this bot stuff, this is the first time I've seen it. Maybe there are other products, but this I think is interesting. Like, yeah. I think this is very cool. Like out of all of this, this is what intrigues me the most.
Yeah. Cool. We are out of time, so we do have to move on.
All right, the last one, and I think the most interesting one.
BlaBlaBlock.
I know, terrible name, but interesting proposal. So essentially, BlaBlaBlock is a DAO mutual fund, right? So you know how, like, I guess this is a mutual fund on the chain, but like you're making decisions on what to invest in as a DAO. So it's definitely definitely something to be interested by. Why do you need it? Sorry, go on.
The one thing that sticks out, if you scroll up, and Tran, I think you'll be kind of intrigued by this. Look at the APY on this. It's 43%.
That triggers alarms, but
Yeah.
Not in the crypto world, man. In the crypto space, 43 is like getting a 2% return. Instead of putting it in a savings account.
We'd be like flipping off the charts with 43, and they'd be like 43.
That's it.
Yes. That's insane, though.
I'm curious how this works. Like, I guess, is there like a passive mode where I just put in my money and then anyone that is a holder of this DAO, they decide where it goes? Or to invest in it, do I have to be a DAO? Like, do I have to own it?
No, so if you scroll up, it says...
Yeah, go ahead, Cole.
Yeah.
My bad, man. So right there, it says managed by community validated trading experts.
Yes, but who are that? Who is that?
Oh, that I don't know. They're community validated, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I think community validated would be anyone that I guess owns the token, BlaBlaBlock token, because it says that right at the top that there are BlaBlaBlock tokens. So perhaps you can participate in voting, right? So if an idea is proposed by these managers, these fund managers, then the community can participate in voting. Okay, yeah, I want to invest in this fund. That's what I gauge just from reading the top line there, description on what they do. But
okay, so this is how it's working. You share your portfolio anonymously. The more account value, the more rewards you'll get. You vote for managers with their trading record and get the manager validation award. Once you are voted as a manager and you make profit for the fund, you can get the fund management reward. So if I guess not without reading their white paper, which if anyone's interested, they should really do. Or actually, don't buy this without reading their white paper.
Yeah, this is non-financial advice. We do not give financial advice on this podcast whatsoever.
Entertainment only.
Yeah, and I guess I mean, for this to be like decentralized and like not fair, I guess it rewards managers anytime they make a trade that's profitable, and then I don't know if it's relying on an algorithm to reward managers or if it's user voted.
Yeah, I think from my first initial kind of thought here, it seems like there's a special type of, you try to trade on your own, right? Or using kind of the funds, and like you'll trade a little bit from your own potential fund, and if your record is good of making money constantly, then you get to a point where users may validate your record, and they kind of vote you as manager, right?
Every user and manager stays anonymous, but their portfolios are visible to others in order to validate and vote for managers. After voting several managers, BlaBlaBlock Treasury will do copy trading and follow the manager's trading moves. Interesting. So, yeah, I think what you're saying is like everyone's trading, and then this block will aggregate on a set of managers that have made the most money in a set period. And I guess after those managers are voted in, everyone on the chain is going to do copy trading of these manager moves, which I feel like has a high degree of being rug pulled.
I don't know, because you're not rug pulling. What are you rug pulling, right? Because
like, say you work with a group to artificially inflate your rewards by I don't know, you say you buy a shit coin and you get all your friends to dump in money to the shit coin, so it looks like you made a great investment, right? Initially, and then after that, you release a shit coin and you invest your manager fund into that, and then everyone's doing the copy trading, and then it's a shit coin. It does nothing.
Yeah,
right? But
there might be, but at the same time, it does say like a couple of times, right? Like it can't be in the order of like a week or one trade or single trade. I think it should be over the course of like a couple months, right? And like active trades. Like if they made 4 or 5 trades that have all worked out over a couple of months, then it's like you're a bit more trusting. And sure, if they played the long game, I think you're right. They could probably rug pull.
But yeah.
All right. So that hit our third kind of app idea and taking a look at bright ideas. But we have one more segment that remains. What's hot? And here we're going to be discussing kind of different things, different news items. It could be essentially anything. But today we have Turan kind of presenting this new What's Hot segment. So Turan, take it away.
Yeah, it's just something I heard on the news. I believe it was yesterday. So we all know Apple, right? So apparently Apple's looking to purchase Manchester United. So we may not all know Manchester United. Manchester United is one of the most storied franchises in the English Premier League, which is soccer, or for the true fans, football in Europe. And it's been one of the premier clubs. Everyone knows about Manchester United, especially those who follow football. And so it was interesting to me when I heard that. I was like, Apple wants to buy Manchester United, and then immediately I went into, okay, why, right? Why? And I kept this for the podcast for us to like kind of like think about, okay, why would Apple want to venture into this? And the first thing I thought about was the most obvious one, right? Sponsorships and getting their products into the stadiums, things of that nature. Streaming rights for their games. Yeah, streaming rights for the games, naming rights to the stadium. Yeah. So those things came to mind. But what do you guys think?
I think the big thing.
Go ahead.
Everybody wants to own the team, right? Like, look at Gary V. He wants to own, like, I forget who, like the sports team.
New York Jets.
Everybody, it's just like
everybody. At a point where those are people. Like,
this is Apple.
Exactly.
Apple's a corporation. Like, it's not like
it's still like. I think it's obviously it wouldn't just be a ego thing, because I can't imagine Apple just doing something, oh yeah, just to be cool. I think it goes behind like the whole, like, yeah, they get to promote this name of stadium. The streaming's huge, especially since they're trying to get into the streaming game. But just owning a team, it's like, comes its own bragging rights.
You know what it is? The budget for Ted Lasso season 3. That's what it's for.
Ted Lasso?
What is it?
Ted Lasso. Oh my God.
The show?
Who hasn't watched it should really watch it. It's a great show. But they can use Man U for Ted Lasso.
Like, in what way? like use it in their episodes, like for shooting.
I mean, the whole show is about Premier League, right? I mean, not about Premier.
Oh,
League,
it is.
Yeah, like Ted Lasso takes over like an actual team.
Oh, interesting.
They watched the show. They're like, when they made the show, they're like, hey, we should actually.
Yeah, exactly. Some executives like, this is great. Like, this is a great investment.
Imagine if they just team just for that one marketing, just marketing the show.
Yeah, that's how much money they have.
Exactly.
But I think a trans point really, I think, is closest to probably what is reality. And that sports streaming is probably a market that they're trying to capitalize on. It's interesting because I think it might open the floodgates for other corporations to gobble up other teams, right? Like, I'm thinking about the NBA, which is like really right now owned by owners, right? Like, I guess Raptors.
Mark Cuban.
Yeah, exactly. The Raptors are one of the few teams that are owned by a corporation. So
who are they owned by?
Maple Leaf Sports.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, right? It's like, generally when people own teams, it's about bragging rights. Or like Man U was like a couple of these soccer teams are actually owned by
ultra rich Russians.
Yeah, or like the Saudis, right? They own a lot of these teams, and they just pump cash. And some of these high performing teams, they just give so much cash to them. And so Apple has a lot of cash. I guess that makes sense, but I don't think it's like a flexing or bragging, right? Because a corporation wouldn't want those types of rights, or like.
But Apple's not like that. Apple is not
exactly.
I mean, Tim Cook could probably buy it I don't know if he's that
Eh,
rich, but
yeah, he's not a billionaire.
Tim Cook is definitely a billionaire.
You think so?
Bro, he gets paid in Apple stock. That dude is billionaire.
Google's Tim Cook's net
Apple's
worth.
inching towards $3 trillion in market cap.
Tim Cook is a billionaire. 1.8 billion.
Oh,
Damn.
that's like a small time billionaire, so maybe he can't actually.
It's a small time billionaire.
That's
Just
1.8
pennies,
billion.
guys.
Yeah.
That's too
Yeah,
funny.
I'm wondering if it's a situation where Apple just doesn't know what the hell to do with their cash, and they just have so much cash. They're like, oh, let's buy a sports team. But obviously, there's intentions behind it, and I think streaming is probably the biggest. The Ted Lasso angle was pretty cool, Mo. I was going to call you Mohammed. Mo. I think the streaming that Ted Lasso angle was pretty cool, but streaming seems to be, in my opinion, why they probably are doing it.
It actually makes a lot of sense with streaming. Is if you notice, a lot of people still have cable, mainly because of streaming or sports. They don't. There's not a lot of now. They're trying to. Amazon's trying. Apple's trying a little bit, and I think that Netflix. That's how they're going to get into it is by doing things like this. Like Apple buying Man U, they'll probably get huge kind of insides into that world and figure out how to kind of monopolize on sports and soccer, football streaming in Europe.
A bright idea, or even just a topic next time, like how how we're transitioning back to basically cable and how we're paying as much as we used to before.
That's a good concept.
And like, how do we solve this? How will this get solved? How will these? Because they're also not making money and they're charging a lot, right? So what's the next step for this whole media consumption?
Speaking of next episode, sorry, did I start too soon?
No, a little too soon because we didn't finish our. We didn't finish our question from last week, but go ahead.
That's what I was segueing to. Speaking of next episode, we had a closing question. So, Tran, you want to kick it off?
Yeah, the closing question from last episode was and it's funny you were talking about streaming, but what is the one streaming platform that you would keep?
Oh.
And you get rid, and you had no choice but to get rid of the rest, but you only had one that you could keep.
Spotify is on this list, or Spotify different?
No, I would always keep Spotify. Let's not.
He's like, don't give me less options. What are you doing, Ali?
Well, let's keep it to video streaming. Yeah, video.
Who wants to go first?
Here's the thing,
Ali.
Netflix. Netflix has a lot more mediocre stuff, right? But the amazing stuff is usually on other platforms. But you wouldn't keep the whole other platform for like just that one movie.
Yeah,
but Netflix has a lot of good like day to day.
That's exactly it. Like I like Netflix, but lately I go on Netflix and I'm like, ugh, there's not anything I would want to watch right now. And then I go to like Disney and I'm like watching this random Lie to Me show. And it's like an old show.
That's a good show. Yeah.
And I've seen it before and I watched it again because it's a really good show. And so it's like Netflix has some original content that's very good, but like now most of their stuff is mediocre, I would say.
Sometimes you just need mediocre just to have TV playing in the background, man.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Let's not hate on mediocre here.
That's fair.
I think I go with Ali. Like, I think Netflix quality has definitely gone down since like 2010 when you could get literally everything. But I would
wasn't even there back then. I think
the year started.
They've been since the 90s. I swear they've been on since the 90s.
But I would definitely keep Netflix. I think just the variety of shit you get, like plus the original like non-English content. It's hard to match, right? Like I would keep it. I would keep that Netflix hands down. Plus, they're the only one I think that's profitable.
Yeah, probably. Well, I don't give a shit about the profits as long as the service is better for me.
Yeah, I'd agree with all three of you. Netflix. Cole, you said Netflix too, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
I would still keep Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix and Mo, that was one of my reasons too. The international content is unparalleled. Like you can watch a show from UK, amazing show from Korea, Japan, South America, Australia, like the list goes on. It's unbelievable the quality of shows you get that are international. So you're not restricted to just watching, North American centric shows. You get exposed to like shows from all over the
Yeah.
world, which is
Hmm.
I think its premier selling point, but there could be other reasons why people like it too.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
think Disney could have made something like Squid Games popular, or like
Oh,
Amazon
no
Prime.
Yeah.
way.
Like, if you
Yeah.
think about it,
Yeah.
Squid Games is like a purely Korean show, right? I mean, they have one Indian guy, but like, it's a Korean cast. It's all Korean, like, but like they made it work. It's a great show, and I
Yeah.
don't know. I couldn't see other platforms doing the same.
Yeah, I would agree. I think sometimes I look at shows on Netflix and they have really good thumbnails. I feel like they do like crazy
Yeah.
A/B testing with all these thumbnails, and I've realized I click on shows that I realized that the thumbnail before wasn't good, and I clicked on it. I'm like, wait a minute, they showed me this show before, and I didn't look at it,
Yeah.
so that was very
Yeah.
interesting. But I'll click on a show, and when I go into it and it's like a different language, I'm like, oh fuck, I wish it was like actually an English show, but because the premise was so cool.
Just
But
watch it
yeah,
dub.
it's a bit sorry. Yeah, like it's but for me, dub's not as good. I'd rather just watch it in the
Yeah.
language.
Yeah, same.
At that
Yeah,
point.
I
But
agree. I agree.
Dubs are for subs.
that was good. I had never heard that one before.
That's a good way to end the episode, that's for sure.
Dubs are for subs. All right,
Do we
guys.
have our
Sorry, go ahead,
wait? Do
Mohan.
we have a question for the next episode?
I think the streaming. Let's continue with the streaming. What's gonna happen?
No,
with
more
streaming?
of like I think what Mo's talking about the question for next week, like what we just answered. So we asked this last week, Ali, and then we are answering this week. So anyone got a question for
We
next
can do
week?
music service.
Well, I think that
Let's
I
just-
meant like what's next steps for streaming services. I was like,
Oh, yes.
How the streaming wars will evolve. Yeah. That's
Yeah, I
interesting.
like that. I really like that. I would want to answer that question. Cool.
And then maybe we can follow that up with what's one streaming service in terms of music that you would keep versus
Sure.
all the others.
We all
So
know
I
the
think
answer,
that'll
but
be-
sure.
I don't know
Let's be
about
honest.
that. I feel like I'm gonna challenge that. I feel like I'm gonna
All
challenge
right,
that. But
right.
I'm gonna leave.
The
I'm
fact
gonna
that
leave
you
that
know
for
what
next
I'm
week.
talking about means you know means we know what the answer is. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching our podcast. If you guys made it this far, really, really appreciate it. We're just starting out. We all really appreciate the support. If you guys have comments, please put them below. We would definitely like answering them because we haven't got any comments just yet. So we want some comments. That'd be good. And yeah, subscribe. That would be really great if you guys enjoy the content. And if you have any suggestions, please let us know. I'm cool.
Yeah, tell us about any ideas that you'd want us to talk about, as well as let us know what's one video streaming service that you would keep.
Yes. All right, everyone. Really
All right.
appreciate it. Thank you.
time.
Take care. Till next time. Take care.
Sayonara.
Bye.